Working with the color docker is fantastic, especially when you want to go and create your own custom colors here inside CorelDRAW that you want to use over and over and over again inside your different designs and inside your different layouts. So here's what we'll do. Whenever I'm creating my own new colors, I always mix using the Cmyk color space. I just find it to be an easier color space to mix inside of. So what I'll do is I'll drop down my color space drop-down menu and I'll switch back to my Cmyk sliders. And what I'll do here is I'll come in and I'll start mixing a color, and I'll really leave it up to your own creative juices in terms of exactly what kind of a color you want. Maybe what I'll do is I'll go after maybe something kind of like a sort of an olivey color. How about that? I'm not a big fan of olives, but anyway, I'll see if I can get kind of an olive color happening here. So this is not too bad. I'm keeping my eyeball, by the way, up on this little area here so I can see where that color is. So something like that. So there's my percentages: 54, 24, 80, and 0. Okay, that's great. Now, how do I actually go and save this color inside CorelDRAW? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little color swatch here, this little color block that I have, click on him and drag and drop him over into that vertical column over on the right-hand side. Did you see that? So then I just dragged that guy all the way over and dropped him right in the middle of this vertical color palette here. Let me do a few here for you so you get the hang of it. So let's see here. I'll come back and maybe I'll go for that sort of that mustardy color once again. Maybe something like that. That's kind of a rich looking mustard color there. See what I can come up with here. Maybe something about there I think looks all right. This little color swatch right here, this little fella here, take him, click and drag and drop him over onto that vertical slider there, that vertical color bar, I should say. Okay, let's do one more here. Maybe I'll go after kind of a bubblegum pink. We'll do something like that. Set up my sliders here. Maybe something like that. So actually I should take my cyan and drop it right down. So 0, 40 or 43, 0 and 0. Something like that I think is good. Drag that guy and drop him over onto the color palette over on the right. There, just like that. Now that these guys are saved inside my color palette, I can go and grab my shape tools inside Corel and I can start using these guys as either fills or as outlines, right? And I just right-clicked on my green color block there, and I'll head up to my property bar at the top, and I'll crank up my weight there, or my thickness, so you can see my outline there. Maybe something like this. There. That's all there is to it, right? So if you want to mix your colors, definitely do so inside the color docker. Definitely use Cmyk. I think you'll find it much easier to work with than mixing with RGB. Or what you can do is, rather than using the sliders interface, you can switch over to the viewers interface. And this is very similar to an interface that we saw in a dialog box not too long ago. So what I can do in this situation is I can use this vertical color ramp to go and find the shade that I'm after. Maybe I want to go into my oranges here. And then I would go after my particular hue in this region here, just by dragging this little box around. So maybe it's kind of a light orange that I'm after, maybe somewhere in there. And then once again, grab this little swatch here, drag and drop them over onto my color palette, something like that. Now, what's interesting to note as well is because I have a shape selected here inside Corel, I have the option to set this current color as the fill or as the outline. So I can click on fill there and set that current color, the current pick that I have there, as the fill on the selected object. Kind of cool. It's, again, another way to go about working here inside Corel. It's really entirely up to you. And the great thing here, again, is they've given us so many different options, so many different methods for arriving at the same result. A great looking layout and a great looking set of objects. To change your